Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and I'm from Amanda Crochets, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful crisp autumn throw. This blanket measures approximately 46 inches across by 53 inches long. You can always adjust the size of this blanket or change up the coloring of this blanket as well to make it your own. So let's get started on making this fun and easy throw blanket. So for my blanket, I used 4 skeins of each of these 2 colors, and the yarn that I'm using is Premier Basix. This is a number 4 worsted weight yarn. It is 359 yards, 328 meters, 7 ounces or 200 grams. It is 100% acrylic, and it has been tested and approved against harmful substances. It is machine wash warm, tumble dry, and the color that I'm using is orange, and again I used 4 skeins of this color. The recommended hook size is a US I9 or 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. So 4 skeins of orange, and then I'm also using the Premier Basix Tweed, and it's the same information as far as it being a worsted weight yarn. It is just 260 yards, 230 meters, 5 ounces or 140 grams, and it is 97% acrylic and 3% viscose. And again, it's machine wash warm, tumble dry, and this is the color Aran Tweed or Aran Tweed. So you're going to need 4 skeins of the tweed and 4 skeins of the orange for this project. And you're also going to need a size J 6mm crochet hook. I am bumping my crochet hook up 1 just because I wanted my blanket to be a little bit more flowy. So grab your hook, grab your yarn, and let's begin today's tutorial. Okay, so for today's tutorial we're going to be using the crawler stitch. And the crawler stitch is very similar to the sedge stitch, which is one of my favorites. So if you enjoy that stitch, you will enjoy the crawler stitch. The crawler stitch is made using a stitch multiple of 3 plus 1. So you're going to take any number times 3 and then add 1 more chain to the very end. So for my blanket, I made a chain of 151. So that's 3 times 50, which is 150, and I added 1 more chain at the end to make 151. So I'm just going to be doing a small sample swatch for you today, and I'm going to do 3 times 7, which is 21, plus 1, which is 22. So to make a chain, you're going to yarn over your hook and pull through. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Continue until you have your chain of 151 or your multiple of 3 plus 1. Okay, so once you have your chain multiple of 151 or your desired width, we can go ahead and begin row 1. For row 1, you're going to make a single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet into the 4th chain from your hook. So that loop on your hook does not count. You're going to count 4 chains from your hook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in that 4th chain, you're going to make a single crochet. So go ahead and insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. That's your single crochet. Next, you're going to make a half double crochet in that same chain, so yarn over your hook, insert your hook into that same chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And finally, you're going to make a double crochet into that same chain space, so yarn over, insert your hook into that same chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. Next, you're going to go ahead and skip 2 chains, and you're going to make a single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet into that next chain. So this is the chain that you just worked in. You're going to go to that very next chain, so 1 and 2, and in the chain after that you're going to make a single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet, all into that same chain space. You're going to repeat this all the way across until you have 3 chains remaining. So you're going to skip 2 chains, and in the next chain you're going to make a single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. I'll show you one more time. You're going to skip the next 2 chains, 1 and 2, and in the chain after that make a single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet, all into that same chain space. Repeat that all the way across your blanket until you have 3 chains remaining, and I'll show you how to end row 1 and move on to row 2. Okay, so I'm over at the end of row 1 and I have 3 chains remaining. So to finish row 1, we're going to skip 2 chains, and in that very last chain you're going to go ahead and make a half double crochet. So skip 2 chains, 1 and 2, and in that very last chain go ahead and make a half double crochet. And that completes row 1. So if you have trouble with the sides of your blanket or the sides of any project and you want to keep your ends straight, I highly recommend getting a stitch marker and putting them in the very first and very last stitch of each row. So for instance, you just made your last half double crochet, you're going to insert your stitch marker right here into the top of that stitch. Looking over at the very beginning, you have that single crochet, which is going to be right here. You're going to insert your stitch marker into that very first stitch, which again is that single crochet. And as you keep making more rows, you're going to move your stitch markers up, and they will definitely help you keep your ends nice and straight. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start row 2. So chain 2 and turn. And for this pattern, the chain 2 does count as your first stitch. So in the top of that chain 2 right here, you're going to go ahead and move your stitch marker to this spot right here. Okay, in that very next stitch, you're going to make a single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. So the next stitch is going to be right here, which is your double crochet. So you're not going to go directly right below because that is the stitch attached to the chain. You're going to go into that next stitch, which is the double crochet from the previous row, and you're going to make a single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet, all into that same stitch. Next, you're going to skip 2 chains, and you're going to make a single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet into the next stitch. So skip the next 2, 1 and 2, and the next stitch is going to be your double crochet. So every time you skip 2 stitches, you're going to be working in the double crochet stitch from the previous row. So in that double crochet stitch, make a single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. And you're going to repeat this all the way across until you have 3 stitches remaining. So I'll show you one more time. Skip the next 2 stitches, and in the stitch after that, which is your double crochet from the previous row, make a single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet, all into that same stitch. Repeat that across until you have 3 stitches remaining, and I will show you how to end row 2. Okay, so I have 3 stitches remaining. So now what I'm going to do is you're going to skip 2 stitches, and then the stitch after that, or your marked stitch, you're going to go ahead and insert your hook, and you're going to make a half double crochet into the top. So skip 2, 1 and 2, and in the very top of that stitch you're going to make a half double crochet. And that is what 2 rows looks like. So as you can see, your stitches, they're going to offset a little bit. So you have your first row here, and then your second row is right here. So I did 8 rows of each color before I switched, and for the remainder of the pattern you're just going to repeat row 2. So I will go ahead and show you how to make one more row of this color and then switch over to the next color. So to repeat row 2, you're going to chain 2 and turn, and in that very next stitch right here you're going to make a single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet all into that same stitch. Skip 2, 1 and 2, and in the stitch after that make a single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. You're going to repeat this all the way across until you have 3 stitches remaining, and make a half double crochet into that very last stitch. So I'm going to meet up with you at the end of row 3, and then I will show you how to change colors. Okay, so I'm over at the end of my row 3, and again, if you're following along with my blanket, I did 8 rows of each color before I changed. So you're going to skip 2 stitches, and in that very last stitch you're going to go ahead and make a half double crochet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my half double crochet, and instead of yarning over with that orange color, I'm going to drop my color. Now with the blanket you're going to cut a tail about this length and start using your new color. As this is just a short sample swatch, I'm not going to cut my yarn. You're going to grab your new color and again leave a little bit of a tail. You're going to lay the new color right on top of your crochet hook, and then you're going to yarn over with that new color. And then I like to get the ends of the yarn and kind of pull them together just to tighten that stitch a little bit. And then you're going to continue with your new color. So chain 2 and turn, and then you're going to repeat row 2 over and over for the pattern. So in that next stitch right here, go ahead and make a single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet all into that same stitch. Skip 2, 1 and 2, and in the stitch after that make a single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. So you're going to repeat this for the entire pattern. So you're going to start with that orange color, and you're going to make 8 rows with that orange color. You're going to switch over to that tweed color and make 8 rows of that tweed, and then you're going to go back to the orange. So I had 15 sections where I had the color changes. So you're going to start and end your blanket with that orange color. And then after you have your 15 sections, you should have a total of 120 rows. So you should have 120 rows and 15 sections. So for my blanket, I had 8 sections where I had the orange. So as long as you have 8 sections or 120 rows, then your blanket will be the same as mine. So once you get to the very end of your blanket, I will show you how to make the border if you would like to add a border to this blanket. Okay, so once you come to the end of your blanket, you can make the border if you choose. So I'm just going to finish my sample swatch right here and continue with the border. So I just did a single crochet border by chaining 1 and turning, and in each stitch across you're just going to make a single crochet, If you choose to make a different border, you can definitely do that. I just really like the single crochet border for a lot of my projects, just because I feel like it gives it a nice polished look and I don't have to go too crazy with the border. So if you would like to do something different and add your own border, please feel free to do so. But again, we're just going to be going ahead and making one single crochet in each of the stitches across. Okay, so once we get to the corner, or that chain 2, we're going to go ahead and make 3 single crochets in that corner. Don't mind my cat walking past. So in the top of that chain 2, we're going to go ahead and make 3 single crochets into that corner. And that's going to help the corner round out nicely. Okay, so then working along the edge, you're going to make 1 single crochet evenly along the side. So I'm just going to go ahead and make my stitches as even as I can. There's no real science behind it. You just want to take your time and insert your hook where you think the stitch will look nice. And just make it as even as possible, like I said. Okay, so coming up to that next corner, you're going to go ahead and make 3 single crochets. Okay, so then when you get to the bottom, you're just going to do the same thing. You're going to make 1 single crochet evenly across. When you get to that next corner, make 3 single crochets into that corner, and then follow along to the side, and I'll meet up with you at the very end to show you how to finish up that last corner. Okay, so I'm coming up at the end of my round, and I'm going to go right here in the beginning where I made my beginning single crochet, and I'm going to make 2 single crochets. I'm going to slip stitch into that very first single crochet, and then normally I would fasten off. So again, you're going to cut a little bit of a tail, you're going to yarn over, pull that yarn through, and then pull down to form a knot. And then you're going to go ahead and weave in all of your ends. So this is what your blanket will look like with the single crochet border. So let me grab my blanket real fast and show you what the finished project looks like. Okay, so here's what my blanket looks like. It's a little bit big for the viewfinder, but I could show you what it looks like up close here. So this again is using the cruller stitch, which is very similar to the sedge stitch. And I use the orange and the tweed to make this beautiful stripe pattern. And here's what that other color looks like. So if you want to look at the border, here's what the border looks like when you do that single crochet edge. Very pretty and very simple. So thank you so much for joining me today on learning how to make the crisp autumn throw blanket. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Please like, comment, and subscribe to see all future videos by me. And as always, happy crocheting. Bye.